Miss Gray. Thank you so much for finding the time to be able to accept my questions in this interview. Alright, how exactly or what exactly were you involved in doing with Jem and The Holograms?
Singing all the vocals for the groups. I was one of the vocals for the group sound of The Holograms and the Misfits. Whatever song they were doing, I think Ellen Bernfeld did the lead for the Misfits. You remember that child's name that did the lead for The Holograms? So we were the group. It's myself, Ellen, and Florence Warner. There's Yolanda McCullough, to some of them. But I did all of them.
Wow.
Yeah. It was just great music for us, It was, a wonderful woman that I had worked for, Anne Bryant. And Anne Bryant had written just about all of them. Some of them with Ford Kidney, but mostly just her. And she also we did commercials and stuff in the middle during all of that. She did all the My Little Ponies and Transformers. So I got to sing on that stuff too. But this woman, she was a great writer. She was actually like a prodigy. She actually used to play for Judy Garland when she was like 17 or something. So a lot of this stuff is rooted in some really good musicianship. It wasn't just, just do a cartoon show. It was very thought out musically. The tone for the Misfits and the tone for the Holograms to be different,
I do agree. Even now, as 80s as it sounds, it still holds up today, by far.
Oh yeah, definitely. I agree. This is good music. It was just written well. See, and it was during that time in the 80s when I was doing a lot of, it's like I was actually help create this album, The Calandros. We were the original members of the group Chic, Freak Out, all that Good Times, all that stuff. And then we also did Sister Slade, We Are Family. So we did a lot of stuff within the industry. Myself, Florence Warner, but I did a lot of the dance stuff. So that's why they had this sound. Even the background vocals for this stuff was like really hip. Wasn't like I said, commercialized, jingle-like sounds for these groups.
And actually, Florence Warner, do you know if she provided the soul singing voice for one of the characters on the show?
It wasn't Florence.
I believe Kimber and the one song, I'm Okay. They both had, Stormer and Kimber, it's a duet, and they both had their own single singing voices.
Mm-hmm. That would be me.
Really?
It wouldn't be Florence. Or either Yolanda, we were the only black ones in the group.
Oh, wow, I did not know that.
Yeah. Florence is white, so is Ellen. I'm not, and he was Yolanda McCullough. There was a guy that sang, like one of the characters, I can't remember, Gordon Grody.
That is another one of my questions. I was doing a bit of research beforehand, and I saw that you were in a band with Lonnie Groves and Gordon Gordy, who also provided Jim's singing voices. Is there a connection with that?
Yes, Gordon Grody.
Yes.
Yes.
He provided Riot.
Sang.
Yes.
Yes, exactly. Yes. And we're talking about we were together in the New York City Voices, New York City band. There were so many different bands, the Diamond Brothers, we covered so many things, and things like On the Beat was a big song from BG2. Are you ready or not? It's only up the street, everybody's dancing, and everybody's on the beat. That was a change. And even when you hear Get Jiggy With It, Will Smith.
Yes.
That really is a takeoff of the song we did for Sister Slade, which was Greatest Dancer.
Oh, wow.
Wow. He's the greatest dancer. Wow. That I've ever seen. That one. That was that whole beat that was from the Chic crew. Chic did the background vocals for Sister Slade.
Wow.
There's a lot of that going on in that particular time. A lot of different groups, singing as, and, people didn't even know our names, they just knew the group.
Oh, yeah, I was reading a bit of old Jem stuff from, like, the 90s, and because the credits of, the end episodes weren't in any order or credited any certain actor who the character they were, nobody knew who did who.
Right. And a lot of this stuff, we've been in litigation now for, I guess, almost 20 years. the person is claiming to, countering Ellen and Brian's right to the music. They use it in, Europe, everywhere. We're not getting paid for any of that. Any of the people participated, people just outright stole, and then lied and everything. That was the terrible part of this, we should have, they had toys, we manufactured Jen dolls and DVDs, with the music and the doll combos, and we got none of that. We got nothing. Yeah, it's terrible. It's one of the ugly stories in the music industry. We getting credit for the stuff that we did. And Anne Bryant, who's just such a brilliant writer, to get shafted like that by Ford Kinder, it's terrible.
Oh, definitely.
We were there. We sang the music. She wrote it. We sang it. We knew, exactly what happened. But they're trying to say something else. All I can say is that the music itself was worth it. It was really good. And Anne Bryant was just a brilliant person to work with, and for. So it was a good experience musically. I'll say that.
Do you have any favorite songs in particular that you remember?
Twilight in Paris, City of Light. That one, I like that one.
That's a good one.
I remember that one.
You have.
We're making mischief. Yeah, that was one of them. You have to understand, I did so much music during that time. So many commercials, so many records, so much stuff that I don't even remember. Something. We were in the studio like every week. We were doing songs. We were working like for 2 years straight. It was great. I'm the type that I'll sit and be watching TV and I hear something say, well, I really know that song. Why do I know that commercial? I go, oh, that's because you did it. Because that's how many at the time, It's not like that now, but it was at the time. Factory, we went from one studio to the next studio, did this song, did that one, worked with this person, worked with that person,
You mentioned with Anne Bryant that some of the songs, like I said, even tune or message-wise, still hold up today.
Oh, yeah, they do. I think that if you go on YouTube, you can get a bunch of the episodes.
Oh, yeah, they have all the songs, all the episodes, they even have some in different languages.
I told you, it was in Europe, and we got nothing from any of that. It was a huge, people loved it in Europe. I'm telling you, there were dolls, there were cassettes at the time,
Yeah, even in the United States, there were the dolls with the cassettes and mail-in orders and whatnot.
Yep, exactly. And that's why it's amazing that we got nothing from any of that. Not good.
Do you know if you did any songs for the third band, the Stingers, or were you just Holograms and Misfits?
Anytime there was a background vocal, it was us.
All right.
No matter what it was us. The only interchangeable was in Florence and Yolanda. So she was interchangeable. That's it. It was always me and always Ellen.
And I guess to branch off from that question, do you know, it's a very specific song, it's called Destiny, and I've seen that apparently Vicki Sue Robinson did a few lines of that very specific song for one of the characters. Do you know anything about that, or?
Yeah, I think Vicki Sue, I think just like us, they have been in a couple. Vicki was very ill, I think, at that point.
They were actually trying to do like a disco type band, and Vicki Sue has been accredited as one of the.
Yeah, she might have been. I don't remember doing a date with her, so it must have been a solo date or something that she did.
Yeah, she's for that one soul song. And again, another reason for this interview is that apparently a lot of the credits at the end of the episodes, even now with the re-release on DVD, has been they copied and pasted the credits.
Right.
First
of all, I didn't even get anything for the DVD, which is ridiculous. You should have gotten paid something. But yeah, I'm sure that they did some weird editing of our name, just trying to make it look like we weren't involved or something. They could just feel that the rights to this, they owned it.
And they, for the voice actors too, because for all of season 3, they pretty much use the same credits, which isn't correct, because none of the people who did the Stingers were credited, not the voice actors, not the singers, extras.
Right, that's what I'm saying. They were trying, that was the whole ploy to look like that we didn't work on it, or nobody could trace who did it. It's because of legalities and all that kind of stuff that you see the mix-up where you don't see clearly who's doing what. There's a lot of shady stuff that went on with that.
Yeah, definitely. I recall, for the Snow White movie way back in the 60s or 50s, whenever it came out, they didn't want to accredit the voice actors because it would ruin the magic and there was no laws in place to protect them.
And now, even with the laws in place and stuff, men still got shafted, I'm talking about legally in court for years. Tons of documentation
people now still remember the music, of course, and they love it.
I find that amazing that people still do. I really do. It's amazing to me that people still. I knew somebody that's got a little girl who was like 6, and when she found out I sang Jem, she was like, "Oh my God!" You know, she started singing like Jem. That's amazing to me.
It's actually still popular enough, even now, that they rebooted it.
That's what I'm saying. That's what's amazing to me, that this woman was like so excited about it. I was like, oh my gosh, really? So I was in Japan for almost 4 years, and when people found out I did Le Freak, I mean, they were playing Le Freak on the radio like regular, not like old, it's like regular. I was like, oh my gosh. And I was teaching these younger kids, but their mothers wanted to come to the, audition at the schools where I was teaching, so they could meet me because they remember Chic. They would bring their CDs for me to sign, and I'm saying, oh my God, 1979. But it was very iconic. I mean, we did so many songs, we did everything, everybody danced. I mean, I Want Your Love, there's so many. Really, really the 80s, the early 80s and late 70s. That was like the dance time. Actually, I was inducted into the Disco Hall of Fame in France in 2005 or 6 or something like that.
Well, congratulations.
It's like Helen O'Connor was saying to have this feel to be part of the swing era. She said if I had known it was going to be an era, I'd have paid more attention. And I kind of feel like that. So much stuff I just did as working, just as a job. They're using Le Freak and stuff in movies now, in Toy Story 3, a bunch of different movies they're using it. So I'm saying it's amazing. I wish they were fair about the Jem stuff, because then, if I could get paid my worth for the Jem stuff, I'd be very happy. But in the meantime, it was a really good project, I will say that.
There's actually a comic. They rebooted into a comic book form.
No.
Yes.
Are you kidding?
Nope.
Really?
It's rebooted, and it's by writer Kelly Thompson and artist Sophie Campbell. I think it's on issue 18 with a few specials. It's one of my personal favorites.
Wow.
Yes.
I've got to research that. I've got to get one of them.
Oh, definitely. They have
They have them.
Here I am plugging the comic. I highly recommend it. It has a very good Jem feel.
Any comic book store? I could just go to any comic book store and they'll have it?
They should, and if not, I'm pretty sure they can order it for you, and if not, there's always digital. But it's great for all. You just said you had a 6-year-old. It's great for her. It's all for kids of all ages, old fans, new fans. It's amazing.
Wow.
But just goes to show how much people still love Jem.
Isn't it amazing? It's amazing. If they only knew the drama behind it. It's amazing. Amazing.
I believe even now, there's still issues with the music not being able to release it like on CD. I
knew there was a movie that was bringing out. I think it already aired last year or something, didn't it? Didn't it have a regular movie?
Yes, they had a movie by Universal, but they didn't really use none of the music. The story... the story.
If you didn't do the music, you missed it. It's like you don't do the music, you missed the whole beauty of Jem. The songs that tied all that stuff in,
the movie and the comic book, and 30 years last year for Jem as well, to also note. It's still going strong.
Oh my gosh, has it been?
Yes.
Oh my gosh. I was a child then. Wow.
I noticed you had an album with Oyster?
Yeah, called Diva Gray and Oyster. It was one of those European dance records, because I had done all that chic stuff, somebody wanted to capitalize on that. So those were my European tours, where I did radio shows, some shows in Italy and in Spain, all on that album. That was my only solo, and I did so much stuff for other people. So there's a bunch. If you go to allmusic.com, you'll see my discography. I think I've done like so many things for different people and different voices and stuff. I also did a Penthouse record. For Penthouse magazine, they had a recording that I did years ago. But as I say, I've been in so many different groups. I can't even remember all of mine. That's why I say if you go on allmusic.com, you get a better idea of my body of work.
Oh, that's really good. Your Wikipedia page is kind of lacking, unfortunately. Are you up to anything now? Or you mentioned being retired.
I'm retired pretty much. much. I teach. I do vocal teaching. I was in Japan for almost 4 years, from 75 to 80 to 2008. I went to teach and actually sing and do things in Japan. But I haven't done anything that's aired or done anything in many years. That's what I did. And now I'm in California after I left Japan, and I teach. And I've been choir directress and all of that stuff.
You definitely have work that needs to be acknowledged. I mean, you did the backing for every song. There's 189 in Jem. Give or take repeats, but still well over 100.
Yep, I did all those, yep. I've done stuff like the Steely Dan, Babylon Sisters, and George Benson. I mean, like, big hits, like, more in the 80s and the 90s a bit, and then it tapered off, and I did more commercials after a while, It paid better. I did, like, commercials with Anne Bryant first, before we did Jem.
Oh, and is that how you got...
Yes, that's how we met.
Ah.
I did commercials for her, and for, everybody, whoever they called, that was me. Like I said, we did My Little Pony, all those for Anne Bryant, and Transformers, More Than Meets the Eye.
Oh, wow. Everybody knows the Transformers song, little jingle.
Yep, that's Anne, yep.
Do you remember what it was like to the environment on set, if you were with anybody else? For Jem,
it was always great, because it was Anne, we always had great dates, like a lot of times you go to do dates and they wouldn't have music, they'd have some words written, and they ask you, what do you hear, what do you feel, that kind of stuff. Anne's stuff was written out and done. We could read it from the chart, never have to go through any drama, it was great. She was always on the case.
Oh, that's great.
And it was good. And because we knew each other. All the singers, we had done other stuff together, doing, commercials or background vocals for records. I had worked with Yolanda a lot. Yolanda worked a lot with Ashford and Simpson. And Florence and I had done a lot of commercials together. She was basically billed as a country singer. And Ellen, Ellen did a bunch of stuff too. I did commercials with Ellen. And because a lot of commercials back then were broken up into generic, ethnic, or whatever, And the generic ones, the ones that made them like the black commercials or the Hispanic commercials, not as much, But I also read music, so I was able to do a lot of dates just, because I read, which made the date easier. So that's why Ann could just give us a chart. We went through 2 songs in a session. So, like I said, almost for 2 years, every week we were working, doing something for Jem.
And with 3 songs per episode, and then I can believe that. Well, I am out of questions. Do you have anything else you'd like to talk about?
No, just the fact that, as I say, it was a great joy to be able to do some really good music, Somebody who knew what they were doing. And I used to love the songs, It's nice to do a job where you go in and you really like what you're doing. But too many times you walk in and you have no choice. You just got to sing it anyway. But, this was fun. Totally different change of sound.
Oh, yeah, definitely the
It was great.
pop synth against the pop rock.
Different tone. We would change vocal tones, make it more nasally, and, it was just fun to change, change up like costumes,
I would, again, like to thank you for taking your time to do this, and personally thank you for all the work you did on Jem. It would not be the same without you or the other background singers. I mean, it wouldn't be Jem. There would be no Holograms, Misfits, or Stingers.
Exactly. I'm glad you remembered. Thank you so much.
You're very much welcome, Miss Gray.
Okay.
Goodbye.
All right, sweetheart. Bye-bye now.
Bye-bye.